Hello, Mike Harding. Hey, I'd like to spend a few minutes here to share some information that we had been, actually, we've been doing a number of demos and presentations at the recent HPE Discover event. We were there in the Microsoft booth and shared the week there with those guys. I said, presented on a lot of different Microsoft solution related topics, didn't record a single one of them. So I'm going to just take a moment here to share this information on Mission Critical SQL Server databases. This is something we've been doing with Microsoft for a number of years now. But as we do a lot of our solutions, we continue to update them. So first about the situation, SQL Server is still big. I mean, I think that's just probably the news here. This is like the latest data that I got from IDC. They have almost about a third of the market there. That's when you combine both on-prem as well as cloud-based SQL Server related, or actually, you know, database related licensing. So still pretty dominant. And RDBMS, so the relational database piece of that and the SQL Server piece of that, still very, very important. It's very important for us. It's the SQL Server, like once you, I guess, parse out VMware, VMs, take that out of the environment, look across our storage install base. SQL Server is the number one install base application. It's been that way for a number of years now, so it's a big focus of ours. What are customers in need of? So there's definitely a lot of data growth happening, growing performance needs, needs for hybrid cloud. That's like kind of nothing new. I think that's really kind of exacerbating things is AI. So if we look at some of the latest data, supposedly at least half of all infrastructure spend is supposed to be AI related. I've seen some other numbers where it's ranging up as much as like 75%. So just AI is really driving a lot of infrastructure uh, investment, and a lot of that is related to databases, analytics, data storage, that sort of thing, in order to enable the AI, Gen AI, and large language model development, for instance. The other thing, related development, and once again, IDC numbers talking about just the growth of related applications between now and 2028 should be growing by about 2x, and related data by about 3x. So lots of related growth, but in any event, database is still a big deal. I know, kind of preach to the choir here. More data, more performance required, and we expect to deliver. And the other big thing going on here is with SQL Server itself. So SQL Server 2025 is the new version. It's in the process of coming out. So it is as of, actually just as of this show, pretty much, it was announced that it's out in public preview. It had been in private preview for a while. Now it's in public preview. And a lot of the design goals around SQL Server 2025 really were AI related. So Microsoft kind of saw this coming. Things relating to related features or related features around AI, fabric, developer functionality, analytics, security improvements. Copilot is in there, so you have Copilot within SQL Server. That's clearly about AI. The other thing we're seeing is vector database usage in SQL Server. So that's something we're kind of playing around with ourselves as well, in terms of our SQL Server lab work. And then analytics, so a lot in the way of that. And stuff we've been doing with SQL Server, being able to access, like for instance, object storage or object data within like a related data lake. Up to this point, and actually it's been the past couple of versions of SQL Server, they used a capability called Polybase, which really kind of virtualized that data connection. So you could be using outside kind of data sources, but work with them natively. But it took a big performance hit. What Microsoft has done now, they've made more data types able to be worked with natively, which is important for that environment. I was talking about that context of that sort of like analytics with object storage. So Parquet, Delta, and CSV file data types can now be worked with natively in SQL Server 2025. So those are important developments as well. So important update, and as I said, now in public preview. And as I alluded to, we've been working with Microsoft on this release for a while, actually back when it was in private preview, and they kind of gave us some love here. There's actually a slide of Microsoft, so I'm being this is I guess being used thanks to Microsoft. but they had been doing some related announcements around SQL Server, and they kind of shared that HPE was one of the companies working with them early on in getting it out to market. So just bragging about that a little bit. How do we help you with your databases? We've been working with not just SQL Server, but Oracle and SAP and also other relational, non-relational database for a while. We would deliver a lot of I think similar value, whether it's in terms of the data availability through guarantees like 100% data availability guarantee with the B100s and before that the 9000s, but a lot with performance. So just continue to innovate with different media and different related guarantees as well. But all flash, NVMe, EDSFF storage, media, that sort of stuff. Delivering more and more performance across our different platforms. And then data efficiency as well. So it's important, especially with all this data growth. And some of this now we have baked into a guarantee. This is relatively new as well. This 41 savings guaranteed for this related data. And that is in our store more guarantee. So that's published and that's out there. It's just something you get. You don't have to pay extra for. It just comes with when you buy the product. And then the breadth of our SQL Server solutions. So I'd like to speak to that because it's not just one solution that we have. We actually do a lot of work in the lab to do testing and white papers and reference architectures, really from really more departmental, like entry-level kind of SQL Server on the MSA, for instance, all the way to the most scale-up, which is what we're going to talk about today, with really our high-end systems. And the other thing I want to point out before I just leave the slide is this, because this is related, because we actually just did some work on this, but VME. So VM Essentials is really your alternative for VMware. Works great for SQL Server. We just published some videos showing that usage, but it's just a great alternative in general for VMware. So you want to get away from your VMware tax. You can start porting more of your workloads to VME as a means to achieve the same thing. All right, but let's focus on Mission Critical SQL Server. Here's a case where we have been partnering with one of our sister organizations, I guess you could say. So the compute team, they have been doing a lot of work, and particularly the Mission Critical group over there have been a lot of work with SQL Server for a number of years now. And we had teamed up with them earlier on, a few years back for a Mission Critical white paper, reference architecture, and at the time it was on Superdome Flex with the with our Electra 9000s. And so really what we're doing here now is we're updating that. So same idea, we'll be coming up with the same deliverables, but really the same value to the end customer for really infrastructure for really the most mission critical scale up SQL Server environments, but now it would be on the compute scale up server 3200 and now the Electra Storage MPB 10,000. So those are the big component upgrades in the solution, and the other things too in terms of software stack, Windows Server 2025. SQL Server, actually we are using SQL Server 2025 ourselves already in the lab. And the current version still right now is SQL Server 2022, but we'll be revving all of our stuff and we'll be ready when Microsoft does that expected GA later, towards the end of the year. All right, and these are numbers, really just kind of showing the fact that we have, this shared solution really has been delivering, world-class performance. And a lot of this really is really from the compute end of the stack, in all honesty. So I've got to give credit where it's due to the compute partners, but really world-class, performance, with benchmarks, whether it's with Superdome Flex and now with the 3200s. You're really just not going to get any more powerful compute. And particularly with the 3200, I mean, it's literally hyperscaler performance. And I can't name names, but there are hyperscalers out there that are currently running the 3200 today. So it's really very powerful compute. But we also are delivering, some decent metrics here, on the storage side. And so I've got a couple slides I can share. One is in terms of performance and how we've done, this is application level testing on the B10000. So, running SQL Server on the B10000, you can see that we are able to deliver, really reduce query times by over 50%. So, and the other dimension of this that's important too is that the performance gains actually stay consistent as you scale up. So you really get the same result, whether it's one volume or 4 volumes. more performance on the B10000 for your SQL Server. And similarly, more data efficiency. So we ran, different set of tests, but once again on the B10000 with SQL Server, and we were able to see, similar level of data efficiency gains for that SQL Server data. As I mentioned earlier, there's like, data savings that you also get guaranteed just by buying a B10000. Data protection is important for your mission critical SQL Server. And here's just kind of pointing out just here's a big environment, but as a company, we deliver a number of aspects of this data protection, whether it's store once as a product, or reselling some of our partner products, Commvault and Veeam as part of the data protection or DR environments, and then also delivering the white papers and the guidance around how to set up these HA DR environments consistently and confidently. And then we still have the the Store Once Catalyst plugin for SQL Server. We also have this for, I believe, Oracle and SAP as well, but that's a device out there in order to assure that application consistent data protection. And just between you and I, actually, we continue to invest in this, and so you can kind of keep an eye on our roadmap. We'll have more related SQL Server development happening as the year goes on. So here's just some wins. So not naming names here, but just giving an example of these recent deals we've done across North America. So just different mix of customers and sizes and industries where we continue to deliver SQL Server solutions deployments out to their environments on our hardware. And then here's a public one where we can name the name. It's Pink Brocade. They're actually in Europe, but it's a case, definitely mission critical SQL Server as well as some other databases and applications. It was on the Ledger Storage MP platform. Happy customer and willing to talk about it. And with that, I can pretty much just wrap it up. Hey, why HPE for your SQL Server? As we said, we can deliver guaranteed availability. We're increasing performance, efficiency. There's also the GreenLake model, which I didn't really talk about too much. The idea that you can get all this. We actually have something specifically called GreenLake for databases, where in essence you can get various BOMs that have been predefined and optimized for your databases. Get it all as a service. So just pay as you use it as you go along. So lots of value specific to HPE for your mission critical SQL Server. A lot of resources, as I said, we're always testing and publishing, so just get out there and check it out. You can Google it or go to our website to get the information, and lots of things that we work on beyond SQL Server, Exchange Server, Windows Server, Azure Local, and more. All right, so thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Find us online at hpe.com/storage/Microsoft.